This isn't just another podcast. It's a movement, a global wave of women from Nairobi to Nashville, Seoul to Sao Paulo, stepping out of the shadows and into the spotlight. Women who are ready to be seen, to be heard, to be unmuted. I'm Anjuli Marshall, an award-winning ABC and NBC journalist and speaker, turned business strategist, coach, and mom. My mission? To amplify the voices of women who were never meant to stay silent. One woman, one voice, one story at a time. So go ahead, put on your comfy pants, grab a coffee, and maybe the remote. Are you ready to press the button? Unmuted starts right now.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Unmuted. I am your host, Anjuli Marshall. And just in case you didn't know, where have you been, by the way? This is the podcast where we amplify the stories of women who are rewriting the rules of success and they're refusing to stay silent. Women who lead with wisdom, who lead with courage and global perspective. And today's guest is no different. I'm so excited for today, you guys. So her name is Danielle Stoltz. She's a social media brilliant strategist, a coach, a founder of Danielle Stoltz Creative Media. She's also known for turning overwhelm into structured, confident action and helping entrepreneurs build brands that they are proud of. Her journey from apathy to momentum is a masterclass in small resets, intentional structure, and believing that you are always moving forward. Now, Danielle is a proud wife, mama of 3, and she lives in Oklahoma, but do not get it twisted, guys. This is a Texas girl at heart. And oh my goodness, I'm so excited that you are here. Welcome, Danielle. Welcome to the show.
Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited that you're here. So when I was just now reading your introduction, there was something that stood out. And I just want to say it again. So you turn overwhelm into structured, confident action, helping entrepreneurs build brands that they're proud of. Overwhelm is something that I feel so many women and moms, this is like the lane that we live in so often. So I want to talk first about overwhelm and how you deal with overwhelm and how that sort of brought you to where you are. So let's do a quick introduction, tell people who you are, and let's talk about this overwhelm because I live in that lane a lot.
Yes, definitely. I am a business owner. I'm a mom of 3. I work from home. Me and my husband have been married 13 plus years now. My youngest is 6. My oldest is 11. I have an 8-year-old in between. And I feel like when it comes to being overwhelmed, for the longest, I would take every quiz that you sent at me. Like, if it was like, are you ADHD? Do you have this, this syndrome or whatever? Like, I feel like there was like some kind of like Google ad that was targeting me, because every time I saw something like that, I would take the quiz because I felt constantly overwhelmed. I felt like there was this pressure from every direction to make sure you get it right and get it right the first time, or your child is going to end up in therapy on a couch, 20 years from now, complaining about the way that you parented, or, your business is going to end up sending your family into financial ruin, or whatever it is. It just felt like it wasn't just, I am sitting down and answering an email. It's like, I could lose this client, or I'm not sitting down and disciplining my child. I'm like, they're going to remember this for the rest of their life. And it was just this anxiety that had really overwhelmed me. And I feel like that was really something that I had to, first of all, call out. And instead of keeping it internalized, I started talking to my husband about it. And I can't remember, he very clearly clearly told me, like, when you're having those anxious thoughts, I'm very much a person of faith. And I feel like he just reminded me that you're just keeping that inside. Like, you're not letting anyone know about it. You're not even telling God about it. It's just you just battling your own demons, your own, anxiety, your own feelings, and it's just amplifying internally. But when you let that out, it changes the game. And he's like, so tell me when you're having these thoughts. Talk to me, because now we can rationalize it, because right now it's just overwhelmed and crazy, and you've gone to another level.
Yeah.
And that one step of me just talking to my husband, I remember that time I had just had my third, really changed everything for me, because a lot of times that overwhelm would turn to apathy. Along that overwhelm would just turn to being paralyzed, and I would just do nothing because I didn't know what else to do. I felt so anxious that I would just sit there and watch TV or veg out, or, just spiral and have this confusion in my head that wouldn't really have any place to go. And so talking to him, talking to other people really helped me to take steps and figure out, what can I do with this thought? Okay, what's the truth here? What is my own feelings and my own emotions and fear? And what is truth here? What can we change from this, from what I'm feeling? And so I learned, if there's discipline, it was the way that I was disciplining my child. Is there a way for that we can do this, and that I'm talking to my husband and talking things through, so I'm not getting angry and overwhelmed with them? So this isn't something that they're talking about on the couch 20 years from now. If it was finances, let's talk about our finances and make sure that we're being intentional about our spending, so that a month from now I'm not spiraling because I made a poor decision a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So what to say is, talking to him and talking to other people is the first step for me that really helped me to release that overwhelm.
Oh my goodness. That is amazing that your husband noticed that in you, saw that the change needed to happen because he saw what that was doing, the overwhelm and the stress and the anxiety was doing to his wife.
Yeah.
So thank the Lord for amazing husbands.
Absolutely.
Who see us and are willing to speak up and say, you're not even telling God that. First of all, let me just tell you, Danielle, that's a bar. You're not even telling God about it.
Yes.
What?
We think that because it's in our head, we're like, God knows. But I actually verbalized and said, God, I need your help with this. Like, I don't have to say some eloquent scripture. I don't have to be, the psalmist David. I just have to say, God, I need your help. I feel overwhelmed right now.
Well, good.
I don't know what to do. This feels heavy. Just simple words like that, and he answers.
So would you say now that, because that was, how old is your youngest now?
My youngest is now 6.
Okay. So you've had 5.5 good years.
Yeah.
Practice.
Yes.
Right. What has been the progression of that progress that you were making? Do you feel like you've had some dips here and there? Like, oh yeah, this is actually, I keep forgetting to do this. Or because I find that sometimes I forget to say, like, Lord, I really need your help today. Mm-hmm. Or Lord, I really need whatever it is, because I'm so into what I'm doing. I don't even always realize that I'm overwhelmed. So how do you deal with that?
I have worked with an amazing coach. I believe you worked with her a little bit too. Mandy Briggs Casey. She's here in Oklahoma, and she's a good friend of mine. Yes, love Mandy. She has worked. I've worked with her, and she is very good about teaching about listening to your body, listening to what triggers you, paying attention to when you have those cues that you're dealing with anxiety or dealing with, overwhelm or whatever it is. And for me, I remember one time sitting in a session with her, and she was talking about a client that I was really stressed out about. And she's like, did you realize that as I started talking, you got really tense? You started closing off. And having that session with her, I started listening, like, as I was talking to my kids, if I'm kind of like feeling like that little pressure on my chest, or I'm feeling like all of a sudden my back hurts and I, need a massage or something, whatever it is, I'm like, there's some stressors that I'm causing right now in my body, and my body is responding to how I'm feeling. So I need to go take a break. And I remember, especially at that time when we was having the conversation with my husband, my son was about 6 months and was not sleeping through the night. And I was nursing and I was tired of it. And I remember him saying, how do you feel when you nurse? And I was like, I feel, overwhelmed. I feel like this is never going to end. And he's like, how do you feel about formula? And that was another example where all of a sudden I was like, I mean, I'd be fine with formula. He's like, then why don't we switch to formula? And so I know that that's not everyone's story, but when I think about those two moments, talking to Mandy and talking to my husband, they were very clear moments that I remember my body releasing by just saying another option. And again, talking to other people helps you to realize that. I think another key thing is finding community.
Yeah.
I don't just have my husband, because while he understands the ins and outs of our family, he doesn't understand the ins and outs of my business. He doesn't understand the ins and outs of being a woman. Even I love to read. I love fiction. I love nonfiction. I love books in general. And having people that understand the ins and outs of my genre that I love, about the books that I'm reading. I have community in just about every aspect of my life, because I need sounding boards. I need people to listen to. I need people to talk about my books that I'm excited about. And so I think that once you find those people and realize I am partnering with other people,
Good.
they're able to call me out when they're saying, "Hey, Danielle, it seems like you're not acting like yourself, or you seem like you're a little tense." They're going to also notice those things that I may not even be aware of.
You know, I love that you have found community. You've sought at, because community is something that people don't tell you this, but community is something you have to work toward.
Absolutely.
It takes work to create community. And I think that what I find so encouraging about your story is that knowing that it takes work, but the amount of work that it takes when you have 3 children, when you have a business, a husband, you have all of your, probably a sister, an auntie, a friend, you have all these different hats that you're wearing, and community takes so much work, but to be seen takes the most work. I think. How did you discover that? Because in order to be in these communities, you have to allow people to see you and to know something about you.
Yeah.
And to be transparent can be challenging because it's vulnerability.
Yes. Growing up, my parents and we moved around a lot. I'm the oldest of 4, and I was used to figuring out really quickly whether you were my people or not. My dad kind of raised me a little arrogant, but he used to tell me, like that verse that "Don't cast your pearls before swine." He would say, "Sweetheart, you're a pearl. Don't hang out with swine. Don't hang out with pigs."
I love it.
And he said, the minute that someone shows that they're a pig, like, don't try to have them convince you that they're not. You know they are. And so it was one of those things where not necessarily where I was judging a book by its cover. Pigs weren't people that were, that didn't have money or didn't do this. It was people that treated me, poorly, that people that weren't kind, people that showed that they didn't have love and weren't, kind to other humans. And there were just things that, like, I was like, these are red flags. No, thanks. I'm good. So I feel like I have kind of learned how to find people that work well with me, the people that I need, that I can pour into them, they can pour into me, and this be a healthy relationship. And that's one of the things that I thrive on, is healthy community. I've tried to make it work with book clubs where they were reading books that weren't my thing, and I'm like, I'm not having this, and it's not that we can't still talk, we can't say hello, but when it comes to those people that, like I said, that are healthy, the people that can call you out on when you're being unhealthy, when you're being a red flag, when you're, just taking and not giving, that does take work. And so I sought out communities that were from a business perspective. I started going to a co-working community that had masterminds, and they're groups of 5 or 6 women that talk about the ins and outs of their business and celebrate the wins. And that right there was something I knew I needed. I needed time to celebrate the good in my business. I found moms that had children that had similar ages, because I wanted to make sure that not only was I being poured into, but my kids were being poured into, and went to church and got involved. And I went through a few different groups. I found one that really clicked with me and my kids. And so when you see it works, it takes some work. It really does. And it's not necessarily where I'm being, pretentious or, you're not good enough for me. It's nothing like that. But I've realized that not everyone is a good fit for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. We don't have to share on the playground, and we don't have to all get along like we're in preschool anymore. We know that sometimes there are people that we're in seasons of life where I I work better with people that have kids that are my age. I work better with people that are business owners. I work better with people that are in the
Okay.
faith community or whatever it is. And I think that that's one of the things that helps me define my community, to realize like, this is what I'm seeking out and this is what I need to
Yeah,
learn how to even pour into them and not just be poured into.
that's amazing. I love that. 2 words, and I want you to talk a little bit about those 2 words:
Okay.
structure and margin, when it comes to working with your clients.
Okay. Those are hard words because those are things that I still feel like I'm learning, and you kind of learn more and more each and every day. I've been working on my own now for 9 years, in September of this year. And
Wow.
I have learned a lot and I've grown a lot, and structure is so important. I typically will say like systems, knowing what um, what helps your business thrive is kind of the same way where I'm talking about community. I know the type of clients that bring me joy. I know the type of clients that I love working with. And
Mhm.
so for the longest, I worked with authors because I loved seeing their books come to life. They had
Wow.
this work that they had been putting all this time, sometimes years into, and then now it's this tangible thing, and that they're like wanting to share it with the world. And so I caught that joy and that excitement that they had, and I wanted to share it with the world. So that was something that really worked well for me. And right now, small businesses, entrepreneurs have been really what I have thrived with and helped thrive. And so finding the structure first starts with knowing like what your niche is. And it's not niching down to like, I help veterinarians that take care of hamsters, and like getting really, particular about it, but knowing that I want it to work with life-giving entrepreneurs. I wanted to work with mission-driven organizations. And that was kind of the foundation of helping me to build a structure, because I knew that they had the heart to do the work. I knew that I had the heart to do the work. And so I think that having that structure, having those systems in place is really going to be a game changer, but having a strong foundation is going to be really, really a game changer for your business.
Mhm.
And then the margin is realizing like time blocking has been huge for me, to realize like I am notorious for being like, I can get that to you this afternoon, like, yes, whatever you need, I got this. I can get that to you tomorrow. And I'm like, that is a 14-hour project. I
Wow.
going to sleep tonight. And so having that structure and those systems that for me to know that this is a 14-hour project that we're talking about, give or take, can let me know that, okay, let's look at the calendar. I've got the structure in place to make sure that I know what's coming up. So it looks like it's going to take me about 2 weeks for me to get this 14-hour project done, in
Mhm.
order for me to have a healthy relationship with my husband, in order for me to attend my children's games, in order for me to actually rest at night.
Yep.
And having that balance between the two, they work so well together. And it helps you to make sure that at the end of the day that you aren't staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning every night, or feeling burnt out. And those working together is really going to prevent that burnout and feel like I need to quit this. I need to go on to the next thing or whatever it is.
Wow, that's really good. I know that there's probably a number of women-owned businesses out there who those owners probably are feeling like, okay, if I don't want to fall behind, I have to say yes. I
Mm,
have to do that 14-hour project, but I can get it done in 5 hours.
yeah.
What do you say to clients who feel so driven, but it's more fear-based?
Yes. So fear is like the worst enemy for a woman in business. And I can't say just business owners in general, but say especially for women in business, because there is this thought that I'm behind. There is this thought that I should have been on TikTok in 2020. There is this thought that why didn't I start YouTube in 2012? And so I'm behind. And if I don't do all these things, then I can't hit this benchmark. I can't be successful. And first of all, you're not behind. You are exactly where God has called you to be, where you have the margin to be, where you have the capacity to be. Um, I think that it's really scary to get to this place of fear and comparison, where you're looking at where everyone else is and trying to match
Mhm.
that. I look back at my business, and there are things that I have learned and goals that I have set and I didn't meet, and I wanted to beat myself up about it because I didn't meet them. But I realize now, if I had hit those goals 2 years ago instead of now, I wouldn't have had the capacity for it. I would have been burnt out. I might be divorced. I might, not be able to have the relationship that I do with my daughter. I know that those are like really intense things, and that kind of goes back to where I was before, but I do have to think, like, I am able to take trips on fall break with my kids. I am able to spend my summers meeting. When we first met, I was by the pool doing our Zoom meeting. My kids are playing. And that is a margin that I have in my life because of the work and the turtle steps that I put into place long ago. And if I had had everything immediately when I wanted to have it, I don't know that I'd be in a place where it's a healthy place. It would have been, I would try to be maintaining this instead of building a strong foundation that now is able to sustain the goals that I've set. And so for people feeling they're falling behind, for people taking clients and saying yes to clients that they feel in their heart that they know that they're not supposed to say yes to, that they see those red flags.
Yep.
I understand that. I've been there. I've done it. I've said yes when I should have said no. But I want to encourage you, especially if you're a person of faith or a person that believes that you have that internal knowing, that gut feeling that is speaking to you when there's you're supposed to say no. You don't want to regret that in the long run. And I think that it's important for you to know and have clear vision on why you're doing what you're doing, what you want to do, because that's going to really guide you when it comes to what to say yes to. And if it interferes with or contradicts with your why, then you're like, it's automatic. No, money is not something that's not my why. So I'm not going to say yes just because that's a big number. I'm going to say yes to the opportunities and the things that I know that I have in my heart and the goals set that align with my goals.
It's so good. Align with your goals. Alignment. I really am starting to feel more connected with that word in this season of life, alignment, because I've seen what not being in alignment feels like, what it looks like, how chaotic it can be. So I love that you used that word. How you mentioned that you love books, you love to read, which makes me wonder, are you a storyteller?
Yes. Okay. So one of the things that makes me excited about connecting with you is I have a background in journalism. I started out in newspaper. Yes, I love writing. I love telling people, and I love, more than anything, I love telling people stories. I love talking to someone and they're saying, I don't really have any story to tell. And the next thing you know, you're talking to them and I'm like, that's your story. That's it right there. And that's like my favorite thing, is just to unearth this beautiful story that really impacts, not only has impacted them, but impacts other people.
Yeah.
And so I use storytelling a lot in my business, because in the world of AI, in the world of, people hiring out people to find their voice and everything like that, there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of times we're missing our story. We're missing the storytelling aspect of our brand. We want to tell you how much you have to buy, and how much it is and what the value is, and we want to tell you all the things that you can get. But for you to tell your story on how me implementing social media in my business has changed my business and been able to allow me to spend more time with my family, it feels a little different than me saying, oh, well, my coaching package offers this and this is the price. And so when you story tell, it's like you add a connection, and all of a sudden you're hearing something about someone and you're like, oh, you worked in journalism? I worked in journalism. That's amazing. Or, oh, you're from Texas? I'm from Texas. I think that those are the things that connect us. And no matter what trending, and no matter what, new automation is in place, you can always know that, like, I'm truly connecting with a person because their story is right here. And that is what is going to connect with me emotionally and really, at the end of the day, make me make the real decision.
That's it. That's it. What would you say is the most common challenge as you're working with clients? What is the most common challenge that they face when they're trying to create structure for themselves? Because I know that you thrive in structure. We all thrive in structure, right? How
Right.
do you coach them through that challenge once you recognize what it is?
I think the biggest thing is that a lot of people have the structure, but we have these other things that we start adding in that aren't a part of the structure. You know, when you think about it, let's say that you are a business owner that has a brick and mortar and you've got your structure in place, but you're like, I want to take on bookkeeping myself. But they're not great at bookkeeping. Like they just want to try to take on something that is now going to take them 10 plus hours to do that can take a bookkeeper an hour to do. And
Right.
so all of a sudden their structure starts toppling a little bit because they're like, okay, you're supposed to be spending 5 hours a day working with clients and then another two, organizing this or whatever it is. And so I think that the biggest thing that I see is that people know what the structure is, but then they start bringing in these things that they're like, well, this could save me money, or this could be more efficient, or I think I could do this myself.
Yeah.
And that is probably um, one of the biggest things that I see my clients doing is that they're like, well, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing, but I figured that I could kind of try to figure this in, or I could try to do this, or I saw someone else doing this. And so I think that it's important for you to realize like this is a system that I have in place.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with the book, The Big Leap, but it's one of the books that Mandy has got me reading that I love and I've read several times. And it talks about your zone of genius versus your zone of excellence. And so many times we are like in our zone of genius and the path that we thrive at and we are so good at and we connect with people, but we have something else that we're kind of good at and I mean, we can do it. I mean, if you like Google it, I'm sure I can make it work.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is what so many business owners end up really getting overwhelmed and feel like they're exhausted because they're doing all these things that they're kind of good at that's taking them 20 plus hours that could take someone else 2 hours,
Yeah.
and when you talk about time as money, it is so true because you say, I can't spend $250, I can't spend $1,000 on this person, but
Yeah.
how much of your time did you take away from clients and money making opportunities by trying to, scan a document or whatever it is that feels like overwhelming to you that you're like, this didn't work, or, bookkeep or whatever it is. And so I just think that that's one of the things that's important for business owners to realize is like, what's my zone of genius? What's the structure and the system that I have in place? Let me stick to that. And then let's start delegating and seeing how I can grow my business that way.
That's great. Let's talk about delegating for just a moment. You are balancing business, you're balancing clients, you're balancing family and life, right?
Mhm.
So how have you set up support systems like virtual assistants, team members? How have you set up these systems to delegate the work? And when did you know you needed to set up those systems?
That is so good. So I knew I needed it pretty early in my business. I guess you could for the longest, I would say I'm a solopreneur. I don't have a team, but I knew right away that I do not like to handle money. I don't like to keep track of money. I can do it if I'm supposed to, but I don't like to.
Sure.
And I felt like when it came to taxes, that was overwhelming to me. So probably a year into my business, I hired a bookkeeper. And that is a member of my team. She, I pay her monthly. And I think that sometimes we think like, oh, no, you just hire her to do that. That's not a member of your team. But no, a bookkeeper is a part of my team and she helps keep my business afloat. I have hired a lot of contract work where it is just hiring one-off projects. Right now I have someone that is working as admin for me and helping me to streamline and organize my business because that is one of the things that is my zone of excellence, but definitely not a zone of genius. And I want to be able to focus on the creative work. And she's helping me to make sure that not only are things streamlined and organized, but automated. And there's so much that she's taking off my plate that I don't even have to think twice about. And so when it comes to delegating, one of the things I am learning is I had someone ask me that I hired as a virtual assistant for a time being that to make a done for you list and a done by you list.
Mhm.
And all the things that have to be done by you, not that you want to do that, that you prefer, but have to be done by you in your business, write those down.
Yeah.
Anything that can be trained or learned or someone can do better for me, make sure you have that done for you list.
Right.
And doing that helped me to realize like I don't have to create every graphic. Like I'm the coach, so I need to be on the coaching call.
Right.
But I don't have to send the notes to my clients afterwards.
Right.
I don't have to create every caption. I don't have to, you know, um, send every email even, and little things like that that make me change my mindset on I've got to do this. I've got this long list of things to do and helped me to be able to pass things on. And there were things that I had to make sure that, okay, if you're going to send an email from me, it needs to have my voice or it needs to make sure that it's, following my brand, make sure it's professional, but you hire people that you can trust. And that takes some time for sure, but finding the person that you can trust and that has that heart to learn is really a great start.
I feel sometimes too that to-do list, because I'm a list girl, and I have a feeling that you're a list girl
Yes,
too.
I am.
Like the list, just checking things off the list, and a good spreadsheet with beautiful colors, and the font is great, and like it just makes you feel wonderful.
Absolutely.
Right? But that list can hijack your day and
Mhm.
your life, right?
Yes,
At least for me, I'll speak personally for me. I have found that list can hold me hostage so
absolutely.
many times. Would you say
Yes.
that?
Yes. And then I'm so glad that you said that because one of the things that I did not realize until a few years ago is that like delegating also starts with your home. So I was saying that my team was my bookkeeper and a photographer and a VA that I hired, but also your team are your kids, to help them with some independency with their chores. It's okay to hire a cleaner if you want someone to come in quarterly or monthly or whenever it is. I started doing
Right.
like meal prep and having someone help me with that. The having the babysitter that comes in throughout the summer, that's a part of your team, your partner, your husband, like tell them what you need. I remember I used to get so overwhelmed with my husband saying, what do you need from me? And I was like, you're an adult, find something. And he's like, no, I love you, Danielle, but if
Yeah.
just to do something, you would say, why are you doing this when you could be doing this? Why are you mowing the lawn when I need you to be loading the dishwasher? And so
That's so true.
I realized that. So when it came to my list, I would put my full list, I still do, and put it on the counter so everybody can see it.
Yeah.
And so I have
Good.
laundry that we need to wash the warm color clothes, that we need to load the dishwasher, we need to empty the dishwasher, we need to sweep, we need to mop. So everyone is responsible for that instead of just me. And
That's
so that was
brilliant.
a changer in my home because my daughter is 11 years old and she can look at the list and see that, yes, I've done my chores, but mom still has some stuff on her list. Mom still has some mental load that we need to unload. So this
Yeah.
is now everybody's, not just mom's. And so while I'm responsible for making that list, everyone looking at it and seeing that these are the priorities of the day and what we need in the home. This is what's for dinner so I can get it started.
Yeah.
It's been a game changer. So make sure
That's
that you're
brilliant.
utilizing every member of your team.
That's so good, Danielle. We say in the Marshall home, everyone who lives here helps here.
Yes, I love
And
that.
we don't do chores. Our kids are still really small, and so we may go to that one day, that word, but we've chosen to stay away from that word for right now and just saying everyone who lives here helps here. And so they're getting into more chores right now, learning to load the dishwasher, learning to, pull their covers back from their, when they get out of bed, things like that. When it comes to your kids seeing mommy do what she does best, living in her zone of genius, what, in your opinion, as a mom, as a business owner, and probably as someone, I just feel like I get you, probably as someone who will hire your children, and start
Yes,
their financial accounts at some point if you haven't already.
absolutely.
What does that look like for you, for your children to see you, mom, this amazing woman of God, this Black woman, this woman who is like this. I don't even like the word mogul because I think it kind of incites this hustle
Yeah.
culture, but this strong, amazing business owner, founder who did this, who's doing this. What does that do for you when your children see you doing this?
I had this moment where I realized that my grandmother was never told she could do anything she wanted to do. My mom was never told she could do anything she wanted to do. I don't even know that I was told I could do anything I wanted to do. Um, and when I had that realization of thinking that I'm 40 years old and I am just now realizing I could do anything I wanted to do. Like, I remember telling someone I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a kid and them laughing at me. I remember telling someone I wanted to be an actress and them laughing at me. And now, granted, it was a kid or a teacher, that was thinking that this is just me being silly or whatever. But I was like, no, that was a true dream of mine. And having someone laugh at you when you say that is like, that hurts a little bit. Like, I can remember that. And so I think that being able to be home with my kids for the summer, being able to stop in the middle of the day and be with them when they're doing something exciting, to when they come in and say, hey, can you help me practice? And I'm able to stop, having that freedom allows me to be able to tell them that you can do anything. Because right now we have two parents that are able to pour into you whenever you need them to. And I know that there's a lot of factors into being able to understand that I can do whatever, but my children are growing up thinking whatever they want to be,
Whatever
is in their hearts. You tell me. And I remember saying that to my son, and he was like, can I be a dinosaur? And I was like, of course, the youngest decides to.
They always do that. They throw a monkey wrench in things, don't they?
Yes. But at the same time, it was just this really funny moment because I was like, they're all remembering me telling you what is in your heart. You can do it.
Yeah.
My daughter said, I want to be the next Taylor Swift. You be the next Taylor Swift. But then the other thing that I've taught them is that, why do you want to be the next Taylor Swift? Next Taylor Swift because you want to have a lot of money and you want to wear red lipsticks and, have great eyeliner every day, or do you want to help people? Do you want to share your voice with the world? Do you want to inspire kids that have never been able to hear positive music, whatever it is? I was like, you tell me right now, why do you want to be the next Taylor Swift? So that is the thing that I think I'm taking to the next level, is that no one asked me what I wanted to be and why I wanted to be that when I grew up. They just asked me what I wanted to be. And so I feel like the fact that they know that not only they can be anything that they want to be, but also they're going to understand why they want to do that. I think that I'm raising some world changers.
Yeah, you are. And dinosaurs. Yeah.
And a dinosaur.
And the truth is, they can be a dinosaur for Halloween.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Absolutely. Danielle,
or researcher.
And what did you say?
I said, maybe you can be a dinosaur researcher or something like that.
We're going to switch in the dinosaur realm.
Yes.
You can do a little bit of that, but you're going to research them.
Yes.
Museum. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I just love your story. And I love the way that you work with your clients. And I really love that you are a mom to your core. I think the reason why you've been so successful with your clients and in your business is because you're not just mothering your children, you're mothering people around you, which is one of the best things that we could ever do. There have been so many times in my life when I didn't have the greatest relationship with my mom. And so God brought me all these moms.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't always look the same, but moms at the grocery store who would just take the time to say, no, you want to do this or this or this. That's great. I may never see her again, but I would never forget that, And so I just want to give you your flowers, because I think that the work that you're doing, especially when it comes to female founders, is so vital. It is so needed. I just spoke with another phenomenal woman in the area of marketing. She has a marketing firm, and she talked about her experience with this woman when she was working in corporate America. And she just was terrible to her. And she had the worst experience. And we have moments where we do get scars. I know you've had your moments when you do get scars, but I'm so grateful that you've taken those moments, you let the scars heal, you've taken those moments, and now you're giving back to all these women and you're feeding them and giving them everything that they need to become successful entrepreneurs. And I just think that is so cool. Really, really cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Do you remember when I told you we're gonna play a game?
Yes.
I saw your face. You're like,
I'm anticipating this moment.
Listen, this is going to be the best game ever. I'm so excited.
Okay.
It's called Hot Mic.
Okay.
So, listen, all the wisdom that you have has been phenomenal. Now, this is the point where all the useless information that just sits in your head. This
Okay.
is that moment where you get to just use all of that stuff.
Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. Just don't judge me for whatever useless information you've opened up.
No judgment whatsoever, I promise you. 15 rapid fire questions. Here's the only rule, Danielle. No thinking for long times. Like, just spit it out. Tell me whatever the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Let's start in easy. Let's start in smooth. All right. Your favorite daily reset or energy booster?
Ooh, okay. I love just sitting and just real talk. I like listening to my audiobook and doom scrolling. That's my reset. I just need to veg and enjoy the audiobook and just scroll social media just for fun. Not for work.
Yes, I get it. I totally, and again, no judgment, because we all do it.
Yes.
Go to social media platform now that you speak of that.
Okay, I love TikTok. I think that TikTok probably has the best algorithm, and I feel like when I get on there and my doom scrolling is actually content that I want to see, and that is like feels customized to me because it's not anything where I'm like, oh, what is this? Where did this come from? Like, it's exactly what I want.
How dare you, TikTok? I mean, how dare you, Instagram? TikTok knows me and loves me.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Best playlist for a content creation session.
Ooh, okay. So someone shared this with me a few years ago, and it is still my favorite thing. I listen to like the Marvel soundtracks from like all of their, like when you are in the zone and you hear like Captain America's like background music, or you hear that music from Endgame when they're like coming over the mountain, like it's just like, yes, I'm about to, yeah, you're just like, you were just motivated, you were in the zone. And so that's my favorite playlist by far.
That is one of my best and favorite answers I've ever had on the show. I love that. And I do love Marvel. We're Marvel nerds. We are. Love it. Yeah. Coffee, tea, or sparkling water?
I love coffee. I could drink coffee at any time of the day and still go to sleep. Like, coffee is my jam. And I will drink hot coffee all year round, unless I'm actually outside drinking the coffee. If I'm in my car or I'm going into a building, I want hot coffee year round.
I respect it. A ritual that helps you get unstuck?
Ooh, that's a good one. I love to sit down against the wall, like make sure that I am completely against the wall and take deep breaths in and out. And I think of happy moments. I think of kind of build myself up. I just talk myself up. And so if I'm feeling stuck, I remind myself of God's word. I remind myself that I have a business I have built over the last 9 years. I have 3 loving children. I have a husband, like these are the things that I just like talk myself up. And I don't know what it is, but like making sure that my posture is like absolutely like perfect up against the wall helps me. So I sit up against the wall and I'm my own hype man.
I love that. You got to be your own hype person. Yeah. You have to sometimes.
Yes.
Most meaningful client win?
Ooh, that's a good one. I had someone come to me last fall, and she had recently been diagnosed with cancer and was feeling overwhelmed with her book launch and really wanted me to help her with that process. And I feel like because she was going through that journey, she wasn't willing to show up on social media. She felt like she wanted to kind of hide behind the graphics and the cute pictures that she'd taken, throughout the summer. But she shows up now in my feed once a week doing a live or doing a video. And it is just so amazing to see her throughout this journey and the confidence and the beauty that she has. And I feel like anytime I see her pop up, I'm just thrilled.
It's a reminder of how you're pouring into your clients, and I love that. A book that shifted your mindset or career or self-leadership.
Ooh, okay. Chasing Failure by Ryan Leake is like my favorite book, my go-to book.
Right.
Realizing that like failure is not the end of your story.
I'm writing it down right now. Chasing Failure. Got it. Perfect. Instagram or LinkedIn? I did not put TikTok in there because I know your views on TikTok.
I like Instagram over LinkedIn.
Why?
So we're actually, I need to know about the context. It talks about like the content. I enjoy the content on Instagram more, because I feel like it's a lot of reels, it's a lot of storytelling, it's a lot of personality that you're seeing. LinkedIn, you're seeing people's professional network. When it really, if that's something that you are really driving and you're wanting to make connections with people, LinkedIn is amazing. But when it comes to, you're not going to catch me scrolling on LinkedIn very much, but you will catch me posting on it. But if I'm on LinkedIn, I'm intentionally seeking out clients or intentionally seeking out connections.
That's fair. That's totally fair. The secret to delegating effectively.
Oh, can someone share with me? I think that the biggest thing is that done for you, done by you list, starting there, and making sure that you have higher people that you trust.
I'm writing that down. Done for you, done by you.
Yes.
List. I will be doing this from here on out. Thank you.
I love it.
That is like priceless. A mantra when you're overwhelmed.
Oh gosh. You told me not to think about it. I feel like my husband's one I'll go to is it is what it is. And it's not like one of these like complacent, apathetic things. It's like you just stating this is what it is and I cannot change it. So like, let's move on from it. And sometimes I know that is like, it sounds like this is just like, it is what it is, move on. But it's like, it is what it is. This is the situation is tough and it's hard, but just like, go ahead and now figure out what you're going to do past that. And if he's like, if I say it is what it is and I can't change it, like now it's time to go to step 2. And I don't know, that's not a mantra, but it is something that helps me to kind of reset and refocus and realize I can't change this. I have a family member that's sick right now. And like, there's things where I'm like, God, why is this like this? Why is this happening? And I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. What is the next step? And so
you don't need a mantra when you're doing that. Like that's better than a mantra. That's great.
Yeah.
Self-sabotage myth that you wish would disappear.
That I'm not good enough, that I'm not capable, that I don't have what it takes. And that is a lie that I hear myself repeat all the time and that I feel all the time. And I wish it would disappear because like, think of all the things that we have done. Yeah. I mean, the person listening right now, think of all the things you've done today. Think of all the things you've done this week. And that's why that reset for me is to sit up against the wall as straight as I can and as confident as I can and to hype myself up because the thing is that I am so capable. I am enough. I am more than enough. And if you're a person of faith, you know that you're more than enough through Christ Jesus. So shut that lie down and keep on moving.
Yeah. I always ask, who told you that?
Exactly.
Who told you that?
Yeah.
Your most unexpected achievement from taking action?
I think my business. I didn't go into this very much, but I started my business thinking I was going to just be a contract worker for a couple months when I was pregnant with my second child. And here I am 9 years later with a full-fledged business. And I think that that's one of those things where it's like, when you're not sure what to do, take the next step.
Okay. Strategy for saying no with confidence.
No is a full sentence. And so if you say, can I do this? Or can you do this? I'm like, no. someone that I know says to tell, to say things like you say the time. Like if someone asks you what time it is, it's 2:07 right now. Like that is not anything where I can change it. So if it's a no and you're confident about that no, say it like you say the time. No, it's a no. Whatever it is. And I feel like that is that we don't need to say, oh, I'm really sorry. I apologize. I wish I could. No. Is a full sentence.
That's strength right there.
Yes.
That's strength. A quiet victory that you celebrate most.
Oh, I feel like every summer when I realize like I haven't lost a client, I have had 3 kids at home, like there is this idea that like I have to balance motherhood and my business. And this summer, nothing feels like the biggest, compound of those two worlds, like the summer and the summer months in. And I kind of just have a little happy dance where I'm like, I maintain my business. And, I had some hiccups. We had some, missed deadlines or whatever it is, but I successfully completed the summer. Kids are healthy and whole and had a fun summer. And I still have my successful business. And that feels like a win that I don't celebrate big enough.
Okay, so now that you know it's a win, how are you going to celebrate it?
Oh, I'm going to Disney World. Yes, this fall break I am actually. So I've been saying is my celebration. But actually, this is my little exciting thing that I do every year. I've only done it for 3. This is my 3rd year to do it. But I find a rooftop pool here in town. And I drop my kids off and I rent a little cabana and I find my favorite book and I go and read while they are in school all day. And I sit by the pool on a very nice day. And that is a life hack that I think moms need to do more often.
Let me write that down. Listen to me, Danielle. There's nothing like that. That's amazing. I have a girlfriend who does that, but she does 2 nights in a hotel. Really posh, and she does it up once a year.
Yeah.
And she does like the massage, the facial, the mani-pedi, all the things. 2 nights uninterrupted.
Love that.
At home with the kids. So she has the ability to do that. But I love that yours is the day trip.
Yeah. I mean, that's $25 here in town for me. It's not anything. I know depending on the hotel, it could be a more of an investment, but it's like, if you don't have very much, to spend,
you can still do something.
Yep. Get you a day pass. Go ahead and lay in the sun if you don't want the cabana.
Oh, yes. That is brilliant. I love that. Last question. Next big goal that you're working toward with your business specifically.
Biggest thing right now that I'm working on is building my team. Is that I realize in order for me to grow, I am going to need to hire team members and not just contract worker. When I'm talking about those people that I trust, you build that trust over time. And sometimes it's hard to do that over contract workers when it's someone that's building their own business. And so bringing people in and really teaching other people the vision that I have for my business and the goals that I have for the future are really the next step.
When you say contract workers, you're talking about virtual assistants?
Yes. So I have hired copywriters. I have hired photographers. Those are contract workers that I've worked with. Yes, virtual assistants as well. But when I'm talking about hiring team members, I'm talking about payroll. And so that's something that I have not done outside of very limited, 1099 workers. And so now I'm talking about getting people on the payroll and really making this happen.
Man, Danielle, thank you so much. Thank you for today. Thank you for showing us how structure and storytelling and small resets can turn apathy into pride and action.
Yes.
Look at what you've built. Man, I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is just amazing. The most amazing accident that you thought was an accident, but God knew what he was doing, right? 9 years later, here you are. Tell women at home how they can find you, how they can support and love on you.
You can reach me. You can go to DanielleStoltz.com. That is my website. And I am Danielle N. Stoltz on all platforms, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads.
Okay, perfect. And for everyone at home, I really hope that you guys enjoyed. I know that you enjoyed this interview. But if you can think of someone who would benefit from this, like this video, send it to them, tell your friends. This woman, like, she's done all of these things, but she's this builder at her core. She's this amazing woman of God at her core. And so I just want to make sure that everyone is able to love on you a little bit and come and support you. Thank you.
Thank you
for being here.
This was so much fun. I love being here. Thank you.
This was so wonderful. And now you are officially part of the Unmuted family. So high five, Danielle. We are family, girl. You can't get rid of me now.
I love it.
And thank you. Yay, I'm so excited that you made the time to be here. Thank you. And you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
And thank you guys at home for watching. And we'll see you on the next Unmuted podcast. Bye for now.
What you just heard wasn't just a story. It was a spark, a glimpse into the heart of a woman living for purpose, and a reminder that when one woman shares, another woman wakes up to what's possible. These aren't just conversations, they're catalysts. I'm your host, Anjali Marshall, and this is the Unmuted Podcast, where voices rise, stories connect, and purpose finds its volume. Until next time, friends, stay unmuted.